Hello, YouTube. I am here with
Match
my
found.
typical
You are breaking.
best 2 out of 3 for 8 ball. See how I do. And there's also been playing seated tonight. It's also been an update that I'll let you know about here in just a minute. Let's get this started. This is the update. Usually, you can only move from this spot when you're moving around the table. Now, I can move around the table even when the opponent is taking their shot. Don't know if this is available in match-made games or just with IA games. I don't even remember seeing this pushed as an update, but did notice it happens. I can also raise and lower the table when it's not my turn, which was not available previously as a feature. So here we go. We can see what the AI guy looks like, I suppose. Yeah, kind of Borgish in my view. Don't think I was missing anything by not being able to see him before. Okay. Solids. I didn't really take time to look at the table while I was showing all that off. Oh, goodness. Well, at least I didn't make it in for him. Hope everybody's been doing okay this last week.
Fault.
Get off the table so he can make a shot. Probably take this opportunity to find out, for me, where the 8 ball is. I think it's right here. It's one of these 3. Oh, yeah. It is. Okay. Let's try this 2 again. Let's sit again. I'm a little later this week
Fault.
in producing this video because I wasn't feeling great earlier this week, so it had to wait. I'm trying to put the microphone and, in that respect, the visor farther down on my face to put my voice closer to the microphones, but I won't know, obviously, until this is done, whether or not it worked.
Fault.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get this taken care of. Hopefully. Okay. I don't know that I can follow that ball in, but I may be able to come up behind it. No. Oof, and that's his last ball. I probably should have left that obstructed. Oh, no, he's got one more. No, that's mine, isn't it? Yeah. All right, this could be quick. I really hadn't thought this through when I started, or I should have paid more attention to the table layout. Interesting.
Fault.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this 2 gave me so much trouble. Let's go ahead and knock it out of here. Make sure that's the right. Yeah, that is the 8. I tell you, it is different playing seated versus standing. Some things work better. Standing, like breaking, I think works better. And long table shots. Oh. He has a clear line there, though. Pretty sure. But one thing that's odd is that the movement, yeah, You got that easy. The movement is opposite direction of what it is when you're yourself
You lose.
at the table. So when I go left, I go a different direction than I do when I'm moving myself.
Match found. Your opponent is breaking.
All right, let's see if I can get this next one. Solid scan. If it's multiplayer that you can do this with, I just hope that there's a way to make the other player not visible, because it would really stink to have somebody come up and just, wave their cue in your face or what have you. I don't think that would happen with most civilized people, but kids like to play games too, and from what I hear, they can get a little rambunctious in other games that are meant for adults. Like some of the gambling games. Haven't tried any of those myself, but in that respect, I hope that they kind of see that coming. And since this would not be an age-restricted game, there'd be no reason kids wouldn't want to play it, and or shouldn't, in my opinion. But if they won't behave, then I hope you can hide their avatars completely when it's your turn to shoot. I guess that's all I'll say about that. Kids deserve to have fun too, so I don't have any problem with them playing. And I know that they've already taken into consideration, having the shot clock there, and that's to keep people from just sitting on their turn and making their opponent wait forever, and that's not right. So, and maybe you cannot approach the table in a multiplayer game like you can with the AI. That's very, very possible. Like I said, I have not played the multiplayer aspect to be able to say. So, okay. Because in real life, unless it's a very crowded, maybe barroom tables pool, you're not sitting right on somebody's rail while they're trying to shoot, or at least that was never something that was done when I played. It's just common courtesy. You don't try to disrupt somebody's shot by being obtrusive. So, but I do appreciate being able to see the table. And it was something that one of the reviewers in the Oculus app had asked for. When I was looking whether or not, some time ago now, to get this game, and was reading through the reviews before I spent any money. And it was something that was requested, and here it is. So that's awesome. It's always nice to see developers listening to their users, the people that enjoy their game. Awesome. I really appreciate the fact that I can have YouTube on and I can hear the music, and I don't have to worry about trying to silence it because it doesn't come through the headphones. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people who wish it would, because, I don't know whether or not in multiplayer both parties get to hear it or not. I can see where you'd want to have that shared. But for my own purposes... Uh-oh. Yeah. I was hoping... Didn't expect it. I was wanting here. I wasn't expecting it to kiss. So, there we go. Yeah, that's more like what I wanted to do,
Fault.
except not scratch. Let's see. Not my ball. That's my ball. No, that's the 9. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Oh. Some other requests that have been made have been that when one of each goes into a pocket, that you get to declare which of the two you want to have, not whether it's the first or last that ends up in the pocket. Now, off a break, I haven't done enough to know whether it's counting the first or the second ball as your claimed ball suit. But I can see why they don't do called shots, because it would just slow the game down tremendously to say, okay, I want to select that I want the 8 ball to go here. And let's say it was a combination or a bank, or, it would really be a nightmare to have called shots. I can understand why they don't want to include that.
You win.
Okay, 1-1. Here we go.
Match found. You are breaking.
See if I can break worth the darn while I'm seated. Well, I didn't scratch, so I will take that as a plus. But I don't remember seeing this update, this last one, come through that allows me to move to the table and around the table while the AI is playing. I'll try to keep a special eye out for anything else that changes. I don't really follow the dev blog or anything religiously, or their Discord, but I do believe they have a Discord, so if you want to look them up. Oh dear, that wasn't the 8. Okay. Something else I did notice is in the YouTube, there's, if I were to go, I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to end this, but they have their own icon now on the YouTube screen, so you can watch how to play Black Hole Pool on the YouTube screen, which is really handy. Because I think one of the things that you will be looking for once you get this game is, how do I get over this learning curve? Because it is a little steep. It's, especially if you have played pool. It's so different, the way you have to manage the cue ball. But the way I considered it was, I have played other electronic pool games, video games, flat screen, tablet style, that kind of thing, that, I've had controls that were so much different. Your table would be like way down here, like you're on the ceiling playing pool, and you're just pushing your joysticks around.
You lose.
And I lost. Okay, that's 2-1, and that's it for that for tonight. And you're really not You're not doing anything. I mean, it gives you this laser beam that tells you, okay, if I hit the cue ball now with the A button, it's going to hit at this angle and my object ball is going to go this way and I can line up my shot perfectly and that kind of thing. It reminds me a lot of Pivot Pool, which is probably the first pool I ever played when I was around 10. Pivot Pool, for those that don't know, is a game that was probably from the 60s or 70s. And we had it at my house in the 70s and 80s. And Pivot Pool, teeny tiny little, not even as big as a ping pong ball, really, in a small miniature pool table, and how would I describe it? A spindle, right? And it had a chute that would act as your pool cue, and you put your ball in front of the pin, right? And then there were 2 tabs on either side of this chute, and you press the tabs, and the spring, you push the pool back in with a spring loader, I guess. So when you push the buttons, the ball would shoot out, and then you're shooting at the balls on the table from this one spot, basically your break spot where you have breaking. And you had a little rack, and you'd rack up the pool balls. I mean, there were 14, just like you would expect, or 15, excuse me. And it's kind of like that when you consider what flat screen pool games are kind of like. And I thought, if I could get over that and having to deal with that, to have such a better game with the physics, and I can deal with doing very short shots as opposed to wanting a completely realistic, full functioning. If I was feeling better tonight, I would have stood up. I would have used my bar stool to mimic my table, and I would have a very near pool experience, with the exception of not having the weight of the cue and not having the bridge that I prefer. I wish that we had different bridge styles that we could choose. My bridge style was kind of if I get kind of here. So I would have my stick over my forefinger that was bent, and that was my bridge. So between my forefinger and my FU finger, and that was the bridge that I always used. I didn't make a circle. I didn't so occasionally I would use my knuckles on the rail shots to give myself a little bit of a lift, but I didn't. I find here that the bridge is kind of odd to look at. So you have to get used to how it looks, because the pool stick is not right up on your fingertips. It's farther out. So you got to get used to that distance if you're used to playing pool. Excuse me. You have to get used to having the short stroke from your backhand coming to your bridge hand, and how to get the momentum going for your break and different things. So them having their own website available on the YouTube channel that's accessible right there as soon as you load up the screen, it's a good thing, because people need that for the learning curve. I would even encourage them to try to make that stand out even more on that homepage, so that people's eyes would be very much drawn to it. And I guess that is about it. I've rambled on far enough, haven't I? So maybe taking the rest of the week off, as you heard me sneezing. I have not been feeling great this week, so that's why I've been late putting this out. And hopefully I will get it processed and ready to go before too long. So, but I did want to tell you about the newest and greatest and what they've done. And so that being that you can move to the side of the table, you can move around the table, you're very fast when you move. You do go in the opposite direction of what you normally do when you do your own movement. But you can lift and lower the table so that you can get an advantage if you need to, and that they have the tutorial located on YouTube's homepage when you first load the app, and the screen loads up. I don't usually have the screen in a non-chosen position. I choose something before I start recording so that you don't see my home screen. And with that, I'm going to go. Hope y'all have a great rest of the week and weekend, and we'll probably talk to you next week. See you later. Maybe I'll beat them next time. I got the middle game, so at least it took 3 games this time to lose, as opposed to just losing in 2. So there's a bright side. See you later.